Yeah, we are continuing from the previous class. Here in this class we are going to see the tabular model. What is a tabular model and why we use them? So I have explained in the previous class the disadvantages of power pivot, and not disadvantages, like something we add some features that are not there in the power pivot. So in order to make something like common centralized where we can keep the data in a location, shared location, and many people they can access the data. So how to do that? Because you will be accessing the data for the high level purpose, for reporting purpose only, right? Huh? So in the SQL Server analysis services, in the 2012 SQL Server, I think many of you might know what is meant by SSAS cubes. We had covered last time. SSAS cube means you can create hierarchy and everything you can do. Whatever you do in the tabular model, you can do in the cubes also, analysis services also. Analysis services is divided into two types: analysis services cubes and analysis services tabular model. Or else you can call this tabular model as a BISM, business intelligence symmetric model. BISM, business intelligence symmetric model. So don't get confused. When they ask have you ever worked on BISM, you can say it is I worked, because BISM is nothing but the business intelligence symmetric model. Okay. So what I will do, I will go to the analysis cube. So I will go to the data tools. When I click the new project, now you can see I can see all different projects that I have here. Okay, I can see all different projects. So let's leave the analysis services in this one. We have worked on integration services project, we have worked on report server project, we are done. What is this analysis services tabular project and what is a multidimensional and data mining one? Okay, so this one, as we have seen, I have said, right, normally we already covered this multidimension is nothing but the cubes. Now we are going to see the tabular project. So whatever we did in the power pivot, like power pivot window, the same thing we are going to see in the tabular project. So I'll select the tabular project and I'll rename it as a Tabu Pro. Okay, whatever we select this one, the same thing will be shown here in the Solution Explorer. Click OK. When I click OK, now it will be create and it will be done. So now I got it here. Now I got the workspace database server localhost MS SQL server is not running in the tabular model. I'll click OK. The main requirement for the tabular model is that you can see one thing. When I install SQL server, right, during that process, you will be it will ask you at one step, it will ask you to install dimensions at see, there's one thing. In the analysis services, there are two types. One is a multidimensional, it is nothing but the cube. The other type is a tabular model. Okay. By default, when doing your installation, it will select the multidimensional. So you can see the multidimensional. When I do this, when I connect the process, because I have inserted all the stuff, I inserted data, I have inserted anything. See, database engine, I'll give dot. Okay, I'll connect to the database engine. Done. Okay, I'll go here, I'll connect to the analysis services and I'll give dot. So I'll be connecting to the analysis services. I don't know whether I can do that. If I want the report services, I'll give the dot and I can connect the report services. Then where can you connect for the tabular? Okay, and for the tabular there are certain conditions. On single instance, every instance is dot, means a local is a default instance. So on the dot instance, okay, I can insert only one analysis services, either tabular or either multidimensional. You can install only one type, you can't install two types. So since I have already installed analysis services, I click cancel this report service, leave it. Since I have already installed this analysis services multidimensional one, so you can see the symbol here, it is a cube symbol. So now I'll insert I have inserted separate instance for the tabular. So that one, during the installation process in the multidimensional tab, when you go step by step in the installation process, it will ask for you the analysis services. There you can select the tabular model. Okay, so now already I inserted the tabular model. So in the analysis services itself, I'll go to the browse for more analysis services. I got one for the tabular model. See, I've named the instance as Microsoft MS SQL Server tab, so it's showing the tab in order to remember that. So this is the tabular model. So you can connect the tabular model under the analysis services field only. So now I'll connect. When I connect it, see, now I can see my tabular model. See, you can see the symbol. It's a kind of blue and stuff, right? So this is my tabular model. So by default, what happens in the SQL server, when I click the model beam, it's showing you cannot open the BIM file. Reason, the workspace database server localhost MS SQL Server 2000 is not running in the tabular model mode, because we don't have tabular installed on this localhost server. We don't have the tabular installed on localhost server, right? So we need to change the server to this one. Okay, we need to change the instance, because we have installed the Tableau on this server and on this instance. So now we need to change that one. So how to change? Click OK, go to the model bin, and here I'll go to the properties. Here you can see something here, workspace. So I'll delete this workspace, and here I'll add the server name. That's it. When I click site, then it will ask apply changes. Apply, yes, I want to apply changes, and changes are applied. I'll close the properties. And one more thing, you need to do, I want to deploy this project to the same server. So I'll go to the project level, right click on the project, click on the properties, and here also I'll give the server name. Deployment, I'll give my server name. That's it. So if I deploy, it will directly deploy there. So we are done. Now you can see the windows. I don't you can see the menus at the top. I don't have anything. So now I'll just click, see, you can see the data connections here. When I, okay, it is the data connection which I have created long ago. So that's why it is showing that way. Delete it. Okay, there are no data connections done. So it is by default, you will be getting Server Explorer. See, now you can see the menus at the top. When I click model, see, automatically the menus will be changed, and you will be getting one menu called model. Click on the model. Now import from data. So same thing we did in the pivot table, Power Pivot, right? So now in the model, import from data source. When I click this, it will, you can import from multiple servers here. See, in the Excel it has only few things, but here now you can see in the Excel and that all. I'll go click on this desktop, Power Pivot. I'll go to the something data, existing connections, or else I'll use from other sources. When I click here, now you can see there are only few types of connections that you can get data from, only few connections, right? I'm closing this one, but here you can get n number of connections. You can get n number of types. SQL Server, Azure. You can also get parallel data warehouse like Microsoft Access, Oracle, Teradata, Sybase, Informix, IBM DB2, others, OLEDB, ODBs. It depends. Whatever you want, you can even get the data from the other fields. Like if you have some other something like on the some network, you can give the path and you can get from the Excel file. You can also get the data from text file. That okay. Now I am doing on the SQL Server. I'll get the Microsoft SQL Server and click next. When I do this, I'll give dot, or else I'll select the other server. I think it's a SQL Server 2012. I think, yeah. This is a server that I have. Here I got one facts and dimensions tables. Adventurous Data Warehouse 2012. Then done. Now in the same way, but here I need to give my user ID and password. I can use the other default, but I'll give user ID. I prefer to give the user ID and password. So I'll go here. But ready. Okay, click next. So select from a list of tables. Yes, the same thing, whatever options we got in the Power Pivot while importing the data, right? The same option you can see here. I'll click next. Now I can see all the tables whichever I want. I'll just select one type, fact internet sales. Okay, and when I do select related tables, automatically it will select related table. The same thing, see, preview and filter. Whatever things you got there in the Power Pivot, the same options you can see it here. So when I click the selected related tables, what are the tables that are related or joined with this? You can see all the tables selected by default. So you can see dim sales status, dim promotion, like this. And when I click finish, whatever the thing you got in the Power Pivot, the same display, you will be getting the same display. It's a kind of same as a Power Pivot, but it's kind of advanced, where you will be doing everything on the shared location on the server. So other users, if you want, they can directly use this one. Okay, I'll click close. When I click close, automatically I'll be getting, see, in the Power BI at the bottom you got sheets, right? Yeah, I got sheets at the bottom. Same time when I click this, automatically I'll be getting all the relations that I have. Okay, you can see here, I can see all the relationship that I have. Now if I want to add anything, just you can go click on the table. Now you can see you can add relationships, you can add anything, partitions also you can do. What is the partition is nothing but so when you have multiple use data, okay, when you have use data, so what basically you are going to do is that you can create a partition on the table. Okay, you can create partition on the table. Let's say like if you are having a data saved for couple of years, then you can create partitions for the last 10 years and you can create partition for you can create let's say the company has data from 2000 to 2014, let's say, and no one uses the data from 2000 to 2010, and the data only you will be using is that 2011 and 2014, but you need the data from 2010 2000 to 2010. You need, if you want in future, if you want something in the future, you need them, or someone might need. So in order to load it again, you load the data. But when you process the cube, what system does, system goes back and it pulls the data again from 2000 to 2014. So it's take more time, even though the data is already, there is no change in that. So you don't want to process the data from 2000 to 2010. So what you do normally, you create partitions. So you partition is breaking the data. You will create a partition from the data 2000 to 2010, and after that you create a partition for the data 2001 to 2011 to 2014. So during the processing, like you need to build that cube, right? Let's say if someone changes the data in the source, that one should be updated in this also, right? So you need to process that. So in order to process that, you will create a partition. So whenever you create a partition, you will only process the partition which has the data for 2011 and 2011 to 2014. So here it saves lot of time. So accordingly you can write a partition. Okay, so like that you can play around with that. See, in the table you can see a couple of things, in the tools you can see. Okay, I'll just select here, just I am given default. We are going to work couple of things here. Yeah, and the same thing, we got some hierarchies there, right? The same hierarchies you can see here. Now I'll, because we got the data for the dim date, okay, date key. So now I'll create a hierarchy here. I'll create a hierarchy for year, month, and that one. So when I click this, automatically a column will be added here. Okay, now I'll name the hierarchy name as year period or year period. Now the highest level will be, I'll give calendar year, just drag and drop. Select the calendar year, yeah, drag and drop. So once I drop, I can see the column here bottom. See, I got the calendar. After the calendar year, I can drop the calendar semester. So after the semester, I want to drop the calendar quarter. See, because it's taking more time, it needs to create that, and automatically it will store the data accordingly. And after that quarter, I want to create a English month name, or I can do anything. And this is the thing I got. Now you can rename each one. So by default you can see that names, right? So you can rename your name only. Whatever name you want, you can name it. I'll name it as year. This one also I'll rename it. So it's taking time. I'll rename it to semester, sem. I'll rename this to QTR. It will update. It needs to update the data accordingly. Rename month, right? Yeah. Okay. And the brackets is the original name. So I have done it. Now what we will do? We'll just deploy our cube. So I'll deploy. We'll deploy this tabular model. So click on the Tabular Pro, because in the properties already I have given my server name, right? Click OK. Now I'll click on this and deploy. When I do the deploy, automatically my tabular project will be deployed. You can see deploying, and processing in the progress. See. Okay, see now it is processing each and everything. So if you have partitions, you can process only that particular partition. Because of it, it saves some time for you. Now to close. Now I'll go to my database connection. I'll refresh it. Now I can see my Tableau. So what it is? The project is a Tableau Pro, right? So you can see the Tableau Pro here. Okay, so see, when I expand this, it is only the connections and the tables. Okay, when I expand this, yeah, I think I got duplicates. I don't know exact why. Oh. Okay, this is the data that I am getting. So the same thing, whatever the thing you got in the Excel, right? When I click browse, see, it's the same like in the SSIS. Okay, in the when you did the cube and when you right click the cube and when you did the browse, you got the same thing. Now you will get the same thing when I click the dim date. We have created one hierarchy, right? Year period. Now you can see year period, year, semester, month. If I drag and drop this here, now I can get all the data because there is no rows. So first I need to go to the measure. Measures is nothing. Okay, there is no measure defined because we don't have any. We need to create a measure, and that all step by step process we will be doing that. Okay. Now what I want to do, I'll just go to this product, dim product, or I can see something, internet sales. Yeah, we are going to work on this all the stuff later on. Yeah, it's taking as a dimension because we don't have any default dimension default measure, so that's why you are unable to do that. So we are going to see that each and every step. So no measure, so it is taking 111. Actually you need to have a measure, then only you will get the value. Okay, we are going to see that all the stuff in the coming classes. So this is a way how you are going to create it. See now how easy it is. If someone wants, if the sales people or someone wants to see some data, or if they want to do something, so what they are going to do, they can go to the TabularModel, they will click browse, and whatever they want they can do it. Okay, whatever the thing they want they can do it, and it is nothing but it's a design mode. When you go, you can see that query, whatever the query you are writing, you can see that query here. When you go to the design mode, when you come out of it, you can see like a couple of things. So everyone is clear with the tabular model? Hello? Hello? Yeah, but you need to practice them. Okay, so I am stopping this video.